Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the house. Let's see who is the first today, man. Let's see. Uh-huh. As you come, please share. You know how we do it, right? This is how we do it. Or rather, you know how we do it. People are going to be surprised that I'm live right now, which is not normal. So share. The first person has fallen. Love it, Titi. Okay. Good evening, good evening. Now, today I know the Americans are going to be blessed with this because they're already awake, isn't it, honey? Now, today I know the Americans are going to be blessed. Oh, yeah. So I'm sharing, folks, just bear with me. So today we want to talk about, better Peking. God bless you. Better Peking. You be like your mama Peking. See, as you get buckle body, it be like say you sabi the thing. Fine girl. Hey, that song those days is sweet too. Nice song. Yes, I have shared to Big Man. I have shared to Clean You, so you share to the rest, okay? Please. Good evening, good evening. God bless you for coming. Hey, I am good. I am good. Very, very good. I'm very, very, very good. Sorry for the weekend. Hey, yeah, I'm very, very sorry. I had a very busy schedule Saturday and Sunday, so we couldn't do our normal program. But never mind, I am on holiday the whole week, so we have to do something sweet. Taya Patience, God bless you. Cherry OV, Rosemary, God bless you all for coming here. Today we want to do our own update regarding the Nigerian presidential election that took place, okay, 25th of February. I believe a whole lot of you are angry. Me too. I'm very, very pissed off. I don't like it. So please share. Let us just quickly encourage ourselves and see exactly what went wrong and what are the things that we're actually talking about. Possibly most of you don't really have much time to read news or follow up with the news. So since I do, I said, okay, let me come and gist my people. Say, hey, this is the situation, and this is the update, and this is what is going. Hey, Over Sabi is here. Amama Enoma Best. God bless you. Please share, guys. Share, give like, and follow. Yeah, please. God bless you as you do so, okay? And follow, yeah? So from here, I can also see the... just a moment. Oops, sorry, honey. So let me also hang my own here. Yes, that makes it better. So my people, una don't miss me, Abi. Now me miss una pass. So for real, I have struggled on Saturday to come. I couldn't. Yesterday, the same thing. So today I say, well, no problem. Whether or whether I must speak with my people today, yeah? And today we want to talk about the Nigerian past presidential election. And if you're obedient, please invite other obedient people to show up. Tell them, say we did obedient people town hall, which is different from Bala Blue. But today we are not going to be talking about Bulaba. We are going to talk about ourselves and exactly what actually went wrong and what are the things that is going on right now. How does that affect me and you, and how it's just good for us to be aware of all the happenings, right? So that is why we are here, my lovely people. So here I am. So you can see that the topic we're going to be talking about, like I have always repeated, is Nigeria 2023 election commentary. That is plus the tribunal petition that is going on right now. And these are the things we want to talk about. And the very first point of the discussion today is what actually happened on the 25th of February 2023, because a whole lot of shit happened that day. A whole lot of things took place. Most of us saw a whole lot of video clips on the internet. If you go to TikTok, it's flooded all over the place. And everything we saw, nothing is interesting, nothing is nice to talk about. Everything is such a big mess. It's such a big mess. You see, not a country like Nigeria where you have the most intellectual people, the most advanced minded individuals. There you have such a shambled electoral process. It's a very big shame. So that's one thing we'll talk about. Then what does the Electoral Act actually then says regarding election and selecting who be the next president? There are many laws that guides it, and the meaning of such laws. You may have been hearing it from the internet or from TikTok or maybe Instagram, people talking about, yes, he did not win in Abuja, or he did not win in a certain place. Then you begin to wonder, but they say he has the highest number. Though the numbers are very, very falsified numbers, they are not just actual number anyway. They are falsified ones. They are not, nobody voted for him that much actually in the real sense. But having said that, there were many other numbers mutilations, such as changing 100 to 199, for instance, then changing 2 to 4. You can already see it. So most of those things are what we're going to be talking about today. Then we'll look at INEC itself, the Independent National Electoral Commission itself. We will look at them. Who are these people? Who set it up? And what are they actually originally set up to do? Then after saying that, then we'll check about the result that was actually announced. How does this result actually correspond with the actual result that was casted? Then we'll talk about the tribunal petition, because there is a tribunal petition right now which has been granted. They are going to war, they are going to court war, and that war we are ready to fight it. And I will be here giving you daily commentary on what is going on and how the things are playing out, and what chances we have, to win this very war we are fighting in the judiciary, with the judiciary, or in the tribunal, as the case may be. And whether this case will make it to the Supreme Court. What are the reasons of this court? There is a tribunal, there is a Supreme Court, there is a High Court. What do they actually mean? Along the line, we'll be talking about all these things. But one thing very interesting at this time is the fact that Nigerians are too intelligent. And I want you to clap for yourself as an individual, because we are no longer foolish. It's not like we're actually foolish. It's just they thwarted our dignity with poverty, so they can usurp their own authority over us. That's just what happens to Nigerians. That's why you see a Nigerian man that will usually normally say, look, this is what I'm going to do, standard. But when he sees money, he can bend it. Why? He's hungry. He doesn't even have any future for tomorrow. But like we in Western world now, like the Nigerian Western world, it will be very, very difficult for anybody to give you any specific money for you to do anything against your own will. Majority of us will just laugh at you. We will not accept it. You understand why? We are not hungry. You see the difference? So in other words, they use hunger as a mechanism to thwart the populace. So even if the populace tends to have their own voice, it will still not count. That is the situation we are seeing right now. Yeah, it's a very bad situation if you really analyze it, if you follow the trend, and if you care to listen to daily news and the daily happenings in Nigeria. That is exactly what is coming up. Now, there is this young man in Arise TV called Husseini Rufai. He's a very vibrant, outspoken young man, and he fears nothing. So such a man is not easy to buy him over. Why? Number one, you will be very much afraid to approach him with anything that has to do with bribe, for him to not to say what he has to say. There are many people like that wouldn't. So this guy has been very vocal, and he has been very outstanding in his own standpoint that, look, This election is a shamble. This election does not make sense in any way. And this election is just like, it is a premeditated or rather pre-practiced election. Election you already know who is going to win. And INEC knew they were not supposed to make that announcement that very night. Around 4 o'clock in the night, they said they made the announcement to say that the current certificate of return holder is the winner of the election just because he goes by the majority wins the vote, even when he himself knows that he flouted the whole process from the beginning to the end. And that is a very big shame, you understand? But let's talk about the INEC shortly first and see what the Electoral Act says. Before now, INEC have repeatedly promised Nigerians, both in Nigeria, in every press conference and in Chatham House. He went to Chatham House and he gave unequivocally declared there the following things that look, that the result is going to be transmitted right from the polls. But do you understand why that was a point of argument? If that is the case, that the actual result is going to be transmitted from the polling stations, that means they have lesser chance of anything malpractices. So that meaning they cannot manipulate the figures. The figure will already be registered with the beavers and it will already be in the system. So even if you tamper with the figure, it will certainly not correspond with the actual collated results. So to be able to do that, what they will first of all do is to make sure that it is not even uploaded at all. Then they still stand the chance of either mutilating the results or outrightly tipexing it and writing in any figure that will favor them. Actually, that is what happened. But let's go back to what this guy was promising and what the Electoral Act actually says. So if you see it on your screen, I wouldn't know where you're watching it from. Maybe from, I wouldn't know where you're watching it from. Possibly, maybe if it is from a very small device, you might not see it. But then let me read it to you, okay? The president of Nigeria, this is the law guiding whoever becomes the president of Nigeria, okay? Listen. The president of Nigeria is elected using a modified 2-round system with up to 3 rounds. To be elected in the first round, a candidate to be elected in the first round, listen, a candidate must receive a plurality, that is popularity or plurality or the majority of the national vote, and over, listen, over, when it is say over, that is meaning from 25% and above, over 25% of the vote in at least 24 of the 36 states of the federal capital and the federal capital territory. Let me explain it what it means. It means whoever will be the president of Nigeria will get support of the multitude of Nigeria up to 25% of every state. So in other words, in Edo State, even if he did not outrightly won, he should be able to secure at least 25% of the people in Edo State voted for him. For instance, Labour may have 25,000. That will give him 25% vote in Edo State. That's an instance, yeah? Then PDP, on the other hand, might get 5,000, which means he actually passed the threshold of 25%. Both of them, according to this law, won in that state, both on the majority part and on the 25% part, if you understand what I mean. So irrespective of what numbers plays the game here, but both of them pass that threshold of 25%. You understand me? Okay. Now, it is actually not possible for PDP to own 6 6,000 in Edo State and still maintain that 6,000 in every state. So it will definitely be like this: 6,000, 2,000, 500, 6, it will be like that. So in every state. So all put together, each of these parties must meet this condition to be able to announce anybody from any party as the president-elect. Do you understand? Good. Second one, what was determined to bring about this very calculation so that there will not be any wuru or wayo was to make sure direct e-transmission, that is direct electronic transmission of election results, is mandatory as promised by INEC chairman. The result will be transmitted directly from the polling unit to the IREV, which is the Electoral Commission website and portal. Yeah, that is what they call IREV of the INEC. It's owned by the INEC. Yeah, the results will not be tampered with. You understand what I mean? So what they actually intended, excuse me, you distracted. Why are you laughing? So their intention, that is loud enough, please. Could you put it down? Okay. Yeah. So the reason why they said so, and why that is the bone of contention, why APC has never sanctioned it or like it, though PDP dragged with it a little bit, but the only people that actually seconded this very motion and agreed that this is what should happen was the LP and the rest of us that wanted everything transparent, because we do not have any plans of rigging election or doing anything very bad. Yeah. Oh my God, people are funny. Okay, so that was the reason. And if it was transmitted from the polling unit, they wouldn't have any opportunity to do wuru wuru. But did they do the wuru wuru? Absolutely, that is what they did. But now looking at the very first law, which the president of Nigeria is elected using a modified 2-round system with up to 3 rounds. To be elected in the first round, a candidate must receive a plurality of the national vote and over 25% of the vote in at least 24 of the 36 states of the federal capital and the capital territory. Well, best said, or let me quickly say this: the announced winner of this election did not get 25% in the federal capital territory. So that automatically disqualifies him. We may come to that in argument very shortly, okay? Because in every understanding, if I say A and B is different from A or B, it's also different from A or B else C. What it does mean is, and is a conjunction in every sentence, and it is as important as the first part of the sentence. It's an inclusion. In fact, the and whatever come after and is actually seen much more important than the very first one, because you can meet the first condition. But if the and condition is not met, then you actually did not pass. That's what it means. Let's put it this way. So if you finish your theory, let's take, you are learning to drive, right? You have theory and you have practical, right? You must pass theory and practical for you to get your driver's license. There is no way you pass your theory, not passing your practical, and you get your driving license. Both must be passed. It is put in this way: you have to pass theory and practical. So in this case, it is of no difference. It is absolutely the same thing. You need to have 25% of the 20, at least. When they say at least, shouldn't be 23, it should be 24 and above. That is the threshold. 24 states out of the 36 states of the Nigeria. Now, because, did you know Abuja is not a state? No. Abuja does not have governor. Have you ever heard before the governor of Abuja? No, it does not exist. Honey, have you ever heard the governor of Abuja before? No. Abuja is not a state. It's the Federal Capital Territory. You have to win at least 25% of the majority there for you to be accepted to rule there, because that is going to be your seat at the end of the day. How come you are not able to win in the seat where you are going to rule and you will be announced to be the next president? It is not possible. Your government will not prosper, you will not succeed, because you don't have populace in the place you are going to sit as your throne. That is why it is inclusive, because first, the 36 states is apart, and the Federal Capital Territory is absolutely, that is the head of all of the 36 states. So how come you are saying it does not matter? It is absolutely inclusive. Even the people that doesn't even speak English can tell you, yeah, that is what it means. Not to talk of we that tend to speak English, then you find many elites and linear colleagues. Well, I wouldn't say linear people. They are not my colleague. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't call them linear colleague. They are not my colleague. They are just lawyers, right? So they kept arguing this thing and saying whether the clause or whatever. Say, look, there is no simile or metaphor or anything, anything confusing here. It's very clear. 24 out of 36, and after meeting that 24, then you qualify to jump over the end and make sure you also got 25% majority in the Federal Capital Territory. But that is what the very current announced presidential elected candidate did not meet. Why I'm saying this, because when we are talking about the petition laid before the tribunal and all the points, you will begin to understand, and it will make sense to you why all these points are what they are actually taking to court. But to normal mind, it is very clear enough that this guy shouldn't have been announced as the winner, because it is very ambiguous at this time. Even the winner supposedly is not really too happy, because yeah, he knows this far that this could be an argument. That's why he was calling for unity. Let us unite. No, you can't unite with who stole from you, because you can't be a thief and unite with you to help who? It's not possible. We stole from the people. We can't rule them. It's not possible. So that is why the PDP and Labour Party and many other parties actually outrightly said, no, we have no dealings with you. We are not going to deal with you in any way. Now, the second one was direct electronic transmission of election result is mandatory. Point out, full stop. What that means is to transmit it digitally, electronically, it is mandatory, my people. That is the reason why a huge budget was made for these INEC people. We will come there, you will soon get angry very soon. A huge budget was made for the INEC people to be able to run this very election effectively. Only God knows what they did with the money. Then, as promised by INEC chairman, the result will be transmitted directly from the polling unit to the IREV of the INEC in the manner the result will not be tampered with. That is the sole purpose. Let it be transferred electronically, then there won't be any chance of anybody doing anything malpractices or trying to manipulate the figures or mutilate the figures as they now eventually end up doing. And it will surprise you, the IREV is supposed to be the portal. That is a software that runs on the server that you kept hearing then their server was down. That is the IREV, they say it was down. Now, that is a bullshit. The Facebook, how many times have you heard Facebook is down? No. They did not even host it locally. They host this very IREV with Amazon. Amazon can never be down. No, Amazon is more stronger than Facebook. Even if Amazon is hosting part of Facebook, part of Facebook software. Yeah. You don't know. They do. They never failed. But why? How come it's only Nigeria owned that will fall down? But notwithstanding, there are many experts carrying out digital forensic investigation, because if you maliciously shut it down, it will be registered. It will be registered in the system. Yeah, that is the footprint of every communication. That's why police is able to track down anybody, whoever and wherever. They will trace you, they will track you down. So same forensic investigation can be carried out to know and ascertain that somebody actually shut it down, not that there were any outage, there was no outage. At least if there is any outage of any kind, of any part of the system, it will be reported. There will be internal memo. Because I'm an IT, I know how it works. You will get signals, not just one person, not one department will get a signal of such, because I want to believe they may have paid a very huge amount of money. So say on a very important day like that, such as a national election of about 200 million people doing election, and they have paid you good, and you are saying on that very day is the day your system decided to go down. There was just nothing happening. Your thumbprint has nothing to do with the system. The only thing that could have happened to the system that will make the system busy that day is just when you are uploading a mere PDF. What? Is that, if that makes the IREV goes down, then Mahmoud should immediately be arrested and taken to Kirikiri. Yeah, he's a criminal, because even oh my God. Even a web page where people buy things all the day, Amazon has never go down. Have people visited that page? Facebook upload heavy loads all the time, every moment of the day. They are not down. How come just to upload a PDF that is not up to about 10 megabytes strong enough will break down your system? That means we will accept that definitely. Yeah, your system go down because you had a very stupid system and you did not buy the thing you said you were supposed to buy. For that reason, you will go to prison. So find another reason to tell us why the system go down, because somebody must be responsible for that mistake. If at all it was. It was not a mistake. So that's what happened. So the very first loophole they created to manipulate the result is not to transmit it directly from the police station. You see people start, if you watch on video, they stand around, upload the result, upload the result. You know, they started shouting, upload. They even had some hostage and they said, oh, there is no network. Are you kidding me? You don't have network, but the man standing with you have a network on his mobile phone. Are you using a different network? No. And there was even a provision to upload those things into the buffer. That means you will be able to upload it without network. So it will be done outside network. So why didn't you do that? Because if it is done, it will be registered. So by the time network comes, automatically it will replicate itself and update. So you don't have to do much. Yet they didn't do that. Why? If it registers in that first stage, you can't actually stop it anymore. No matter what you now manipulated, it will not correspond with the actual number that the computer will eventually end up reading. But I will tell you, Mahmoud did not even wait for computer to read anything. It was that same night, under duress of what kind of whatsoever, he announced and quickly write the certificate and sign it and hand it all over, thinking his job is done. Oga Mahmoud, Megida, Wallahi, the IK is not finished. IK Begama Bamana. You have many questions to answer, because in my own suspicion, Kakarubakudi, yeah, yo, Kakarubakudi, Kai Manafiki Mana, Bakel, it's not good. So you can't take money and play with ourselves, because we are going to court, and that is very sure. Now, let's talk about the budget of INEC. When INEC was looking for money, this Mahmoud was a sweet darling. He talked so smoothly. Even me, I clap for him. I say, yes, for the first time, we have somebody who is credible, who knows how to do the reading, not knowing that Mahmoud was just a very big, how do I call him now? A big 419, just a normal Nigerian who knows how to do 419, and he did succeeded somehow. INEC budgeted 305 billion to conduct 2023 general elections in Nigeria. Cost of 9K. Let us see the cost of 9K items in the 2023 proposed election budget. Now, this few 91, which I just got from a verified national newspaper of Nigeria, and I verify it with many other newspapers, and they all say the same thing. So if you don't know, the amount of budget that was budgeted actually for this very election is 305 billion naira. I'm afraid to actually convert this to pounds, and this should be well over 500 million pounds, definitely. But unfortunately, or rather regrettably, what they did is a shame. It's shamble. It does not make any sense at all. I will begin to explain to you one after the other. So these people, you know how Nigerians behave, okay? They will first of all overinflate the budget they are giving you if it has to do with the government. After doing that, they will still go ahead, not even meeting up with even half of the inflated budget they even presented to you in the first place. They will go and look for the most useless one to just fill it in. Why? So long as it's for the public, who cares? So that nonchalant attitude is what played out here, and they use that as a way to siphon this 305 billion naira. 305 billion naira is what they budgeted, and many polling officers are complaining still today that they did not get their salary, they are not paid yet, and many of them have to go to police station with their own personal budgets, and many of them were actually abandoned. They don't have credit on their phone as they were promised. So many things went wrong, not just only that they manipulated the election. You know how Nigerians behave. So they seized this opportunity to actually somehow illfully, quickly enrich themselves, as they always do and as usual. Sorry, guys. So my people, the very first budget I have on the item is procurement of accreditation devices for 2023 election. So the highest of the whole budget was to procure equipment for accreditation. What does that mean? The useless tablet they call Beaver. I am not sure how many of those pieces they bought, because I was trying to find out how many pieces they eventually bought, but I am sure we have 1,780 something police stations, so which I will assume each of the police stations should be having one. Plus minus, they might want to have reserve in case anyone is malfunctioning, then they quickly switch that in. So plus minus, I conclude they bought 2,000. Yeah, in my own calculation. So I presume they buy 2,000 pieces of that useless accreditation machine. It's useless, you see. Now, it's useless in the sense that it runs on Android. iPhone 11, 12, 13, 14 can do exactly the same thing. So, check out the amount they spend on that. 105.25 billion. 105.25 billion. That is 105,250,000. They spent on those machines they call beavers. And that cost about 34%, 34.51% of the whole budget. Then, provisions for runoff elections. They make provision for that. We don't know what kind of provision is that. And that cost 27.11 billion. Honoraria of ad hoc staff. I believe those are the staff they employ to temporarily mind the polling stations and all those blah, 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 blah. but that cost 23.77 billion. Election, logistics, expensive, movement, deployment, and retrieval of men and materials for election. Generally, let's call that logistics and supplies, and that cost 23.01 billion. When I never hear millions since, so na so billion una dey hear. Good. Printing of ballot papers. To print the ballot papers, they easily send their own thugs to go destroy and burn and cut away and manipulated and mutilated. Cost 20.68 billion. I mean, nairas, yeah, billion naira, yeah. Procurement of non-sensitive material. Now, to procure material that are non-sensitive, it cost 12.72 billion. Now, if they were sensitive, I wonder how many billion it will cost. Continuing. Printing of result sheets. Oh, that is even different from the logistic of 23 billion. Okay, that is different from the printing of electoral material. Okay, meaning result sheet did not belong to the electoral material. Mahmoud, you get question to answer now. Now, printing of result sheets, 9.58 billion. Hell, this billion we had to talk. I hope you can go get headache today. Now, procurement of ballot boxes. Oh, that that rubber boxes they bought. I wonder how many millions they bought, but it will surprise you. They bought how many procure boxes? 7.82 billion. So let's stop there quickly. If there is a factory in Nigeria producing that kind of rubber boxes for election, he only produced for 1 year election material for 7.82 billion. I tell you, that company will not make that if it's not producing that for another 10 years just to sell to the public. Just to sell to the public is not possible. But INEC purchased that one time from wherever or from wherever, 7.82 billion. Now, procurement of operational vehicles. I don't know why they were so good on that. That was just about 3.92 billion. So I begin to wonder maybe they already have unused vehicle. So my people, this is the amount, and this is how INEC budgeted our money to do this stupid election that does not make sense. Very, very anyhow election. Idiotic. But this is the amount he eventually spent, and this is the great budget he budgeted. So everything I have mentioned since is billion, ranging from 105.25 billion to 3.92 billion for such an election that does not make sense of any kind. There was no provision for the less privileged to even be able to attend that election, which is actually supposed to be in this very budget. There was no provision for the handicaps to be able to cast their vote because they are equally important. The people that have an eyesight problem, they are supposed to have, what do they call it, a magnifier to be able to vote. The cripples are supposed to be assisted. The deaf and dumb are supposed to have interpreter there to interpret to them because it is their fundamental human right. The elderly people are supposed to be assisted because they are elderly people. When they manage to come to police station, they are supposed to be assisted back. Many things were embedded in all this budget, which they actually flout so easily, which makes them, in fact, this man's supposed to go to jail. Don't you think so? Yes, supposed to go to jail so that from jail he will be attending court to answer questions. That he's still living very freely is just very painful, if you understand what I mean. He can't spend this kind of money and give us that kind of very, 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 very Yeah, that is too shit. What we got, it's not good. Nobody's happy. Even the supposed winner of the election. Did you see any happiness? No. Did you see any jollification? No. If it was Obi that won, many things would have happened till today. By now, one first thing will go happen be say everyday happiness, jollification, party will be going on. People will get pregnant quick because that happiness will make people get pregnant. You will have children where many shops will make a lot of sales because happiness want to buy more shark and eat, drink more pepper soup. Okpo Miliki go get some company where. So many things go really happen where. But right now, everything is so dull. So dull, nothing happened. It's not like a usual election, somebody won and you begin to rejoice and begin to say, yes, we won and stuff like that. No, unfortunately, that's not the case. But the reverse is the case, that everywhere is so dull. That's not what we're looking for. Nigerians are happy people. We are jollification people. We are jubilants. We like jubilation. In fact, we prefer jubilation than quarrel, to be honest. Every Nigerian, to be honest, if they give any Nigerian man say choose jubilation or quarrel, would they dive jubilation? Well, because would they like gyrate? Would they like to just drink, hang out, just make fun? That's our lifestyle. But now, the opportunity is even stolen from us with about 305 billion budget for INEC to just ruin our happiness for no reason. Well, I know better for INEC, yeah? You don't do well at all. So let's continue, folks. Now, let me shift myself a bit away from here. I hope you are still, okay, yeah, you could be seeing it from here, yeah? Now, we have graphic of the electoral cost differences, you understand, eh? If you begin to check how the amount of electoral whatever has been going on, you see the graph I make here, and on the other side, on this side, I put in a graphic here. On the other side, I put in the first slide I've shown you before. Sorry, let me push myself away from here. So if you see, you will find out that in 2011, the amount spent in billions, so the amount spent on electoral preparation was 139 billion. Then the amount of number of registered voters actually that amount was spent was 73.5 million. Then the percentage of voters that actually now came out was 53.68 billion. 2015, it was a little bit higher. It was a little bit higher on the, no, it was lesser, not even higher, because at the end of the day, the blue line came to 116. That is against 139. So what it simply means with this graph is how things have actually skyrocketed in their corruption. 2019 was actually higher than 2011 and 15. But it will surprise you that 2023 is far higher than 2021 and 2015 combined. And this is the shittest election that has ever been conducted from 2011. So it was a very, very big shame. Now you can see from this graphic, as of when this graphic was generated, it was not yet ascertained how many percentage of voters actually came out, because you can't begin to count how many voters actually came out, because the figures they have to make the comparison and properly come up with this graphic, they were all falsified figures. So you can't probably making your probability depending on the falsified figures that they gave to the public, which is not the actual thing. So that is why you are not seeing the red on the 2023 election just yet. Possibly, if that is determined, maybe in the future, it might appear in the national graphics. But for now, they do not have that just yet, because the the sin they committed is too grievous that most people don't want to associate themselves with that, creating their content or making their own report based on false report and false result, which is very bad. Yeah, let's continue, my people. We are not done yet. Okay, let me come this way. Man, you still see me? Now, the electoral machine bought that such amount of money, like I show you just now. Let's see the amount of money they spent on the electoral is 105.25 billion. Yeah. Now let's go back now to see the so-called beavers for accreditation of voters is nothing more than a mere cheap tablet with fingerprints functionality. That's what it is. It's not like it is a very big machine. It is a cyber machine. No, it's just one of those tablets that have fingerprint functionalities, just a software, and it runs on Android like just normal Samsung telephone. For me, I would have preferred you buy iPhone 14. Yeah, with one iPhone 14 could have done that job, or maybe a very cheap laptop with a good camera or a webcam. One click that could have sent all the message to all the system, because we begin to wonder, why do you need accreditation stuff when computer can virtually do everything for you? With normal webcam, you already have your IREV. You should be able to have a photographic functionality that will immediately identify the card and identify the person and send the report immediately and give you accreditation. You don't have to stress. No, not that they don't know those things are functionable and they are achievable. If those things are deployed, to me, they are supposed to be the cheapest. So they simply decided to go through the hard way, finding an occasion and every loophole to be able to perpetrate this evil. So it is a master plan job. It is not by mistake. It is not like they are not professional. In fact, in my own judgment, they are damn too professional. Otherwise, these flaws they created by themselves can't be normally created by mistake. Oh, no, because you have engineers, you have test engineers that tested it out, you have architect. I'm an architect. I know what they should have done. I know the topology they should have deployed. I know the network functionality they should have deployed. So why are you giving us fake story? Do you think only you and your team knows about technology? No, I will keep repeating that Nigerians are too intelligent when it comes to technology. In fact, we are the first in technology in the whole world. You know why? Not Bill Gates, no. The person that created and built the fastest operating chip, calculating chip, is an Igbo man. I forgot his name now. Yeah, it's an Igbo man. So every other machine runs on what a Nigerian man built. Till today, nobody can come close to what he built. Based on what he built, America is able to successfully launch their rocket to the space. Many surgery are able to be carried out with nanometer seconds. Why? He has a very, he created, he invented, not that he did not just manufacture it, that you would think, oh, maybe somebody else designed it, then you manufacture. No, he invented it and he manufactured it. A Nigerian. So people with such powerful intellectuals, powerful elites, born technicians, people with technologically inclined by birth. Now you just a fool like that, like say we don't know what we do. No, it's shameful, because that is why they are finding it difficult to have their argument airtight right now, because it is so shameful that you were doing these things, not reasoning that not only you know that these are just flows created by you yourself and you, because you know by so doing you will be able to perpetrate some of your pre-planned evil, and that's what you. Eh? What my own? Your own face. No, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah, 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 that's true. Sorry, I'm back. So, no, I should be able to be reading. I will be going back and forth though. So, what we're talking about, folks, is the fact that these people have taken a whole lot of money, but they did not deliver what was expected of them. And that is very disappointing. And the flimsy excuse they are giving us is not satisfactory. We are not accepting that very flimsy. It is too watery because we can already see the loophole you deliberately created for yourself to perpetrate this evil, because there is no point, no way, no reason you could tell us that you have a server, your server is down. Meanwhile, you have no server. Everything you do is hosted by Amazon. That's number one. So number two, contact have been made with Amazon to check out if there was any outage within this time of the day, especially on the 25th of February while this election was going on. And that is absolutely no, because even common Google, if you just Google it, check, was there any outage 25th, blah, blah, blah. If there was, Google will tell you all the whole application that have outages or breakdown that very day will be reported on internet. Google will pick it up. There was no such a thing. So I don't know why they are giving that kind of cheap lie, making people to believe what is not. And that is very annoying. Now, INEC portal or website has no data integrity. You understand? No, it does not have any data integrity, because if you tell me it is constantly down and up, that means there is no integrity. It lacks integrity. It can only be likened to a web page and not fit to be a kind of website that can host such an intelligent information system, such as election for about 200 million people. It is absolutely impossible, because that website was not doing anything other than uploading some information to it. People were not browsing there. People were not finding no much information there. People do not have any specific information there other than anything that is just uploaded. So for me, I can already imagine that that website should be more than at most, if it is too much, 5 pages. Yes, 5 pages. Because first of all, you may have a page where you log in, which I believe, yeah. If you log in, you can sign yourself. One page bring you to second page, where you now have opportunity to see all the police station and all the wards. Then you click on that. That can possibly be page. They are just information stored on that page, which you can just browse and check. So that can't possibly make any system busy. It's not possible, because nothing else is happening there. Nobody is making any personal registration there. Nobody is doing anything else there. And there is nothing, information which INEC had already uploaded there that must have occupied space, that takes a whole lot to process, that will bring heavy load upon any processor, that might either overheat or make the application not to work, or maybe internet intrusion or interruption. Neither of such things happened. So they should have looked for a very different excuse to give. Another point is IREV or INEC portal is hosted by Amazon, like I've said. Comparing the amount of money spent for all these elections exercise and knowing fully well what the appropriate cost might approximately be, that brings the whole process to a questionable table. Yes, because if it is on Amazon, my people, now we all know how much Amazon hosts websites. If you are busy with, because I build websites for some companies, I end up managing their host, and I check out prices from Amazon and many other. Google have a hosting this thing too. Amazon has a hosting. Microsoft have their own. So many of them have their own. So you compare the prices and check, my people. It is a very, very affordable thing to host. It's not a big deal. More importantly, the information being hosted there are not much. We are talking about personal detail of about 200 million people, which are not even up to 200 million people that actually end up registering to be stored in any database allocated to INEC on Amazon web space. Now tell me, where is the occupation coming from? How come it's too busy? Not even up to 200 million registered. If we check amount of people registered, all they have registered is their fingerprint. How many space will that cover? Your face, how many space will that cover? Your, what else? Date of birth, first name, second name, address, a name generated for you. My people, that is just few kilobytes of information about you, which in most cases can even be compressed and made next to nothing. Do you understand? So their excuse of server this, server that, they should be ashamed of themselves, because from distance we already can analyze what they have, the facility, the equipment, the thing they have purchased, and all those things. It is just a lie. They just use that to eat up plenty Nigerian money, and yeah, it's a pity they have eaten our money. Okay, another point. Logistics and electoral materials are the worst part of the whole process. You guys remember that before trucks could get to the locations to deliver the electoral materials, elections are supposed to start by 8 o'clock, we're starting 11 o'clock. We already lost many hours into the elections, yeah? So many of the transport back and forth were all faulty, that some people have to use their personal car, endangering the electoral materials, which was not safe to a safe delivering place. And they all end up that police have to be visiting many police stations to assist the police officers to transport these electoral materials from one point to another point. Why were all those ones? Because the proper logistics, preparation, and supplies were not made. Possibly it is written on paper, somebody got the money, other things will be done. And if you even saw the truck that, that were transporting those electoral material, I begin to wonder, so this kind of truck still can move. Wow, it was very funny to have those kind of dilapidated truck transporting such a sensitive materials to police stations without no escort, without no nothing. Well, that apart. Now, if you see the whole outcome of the election now, what the result eventually became, from this very map, you will see where you have all the different colors. The blue one is for the APC, the thief one that stole our mandate. Then you have the red one, which is the LP. Those are the states the LP won. And the green one, of course, is PDP. And the blue one is just only one spot, which is Kano State. That is the NNPP. And that is a traditional party for the Kano State people. It will be very difficult for any party to win in Kano State, because that NNPP has been there for ages, and it is as good as traditional party, yeah? Okay, having said that, each of these people won 12 states. LP won 12 states of the Federation. APC, that was announced the winner, also won 12 states, supposedly, which is not true, because new facts are coming out now that APC actually did not want some of the states allocated to them to have won. Many of those states, such as Ekiti and the rest, where the election, and Rivers, where the election was massively rigged and Obi won in all those areas. That added to our own, that ultimately makes APC to be out of the way, and the result will come to LP. Now, what actually happened, that in all these states that Obi won, he scored more than 25% of each of those states. And he still managed to score up to 25% of each of the rest of the states, which he did not have majority. That put him on the very top list, supposedly, to meet the very first condition of 25% of 24 states out of 36. You understand? 25% of 24 states out of 26 states and Federal Capital Territory. And Obi won Federal Capital Territory massively. Not small, not very massive winning. He won Lagos as well massively. And according to a new report that is flushing out, he won Rivers State also heavily. Now, if all this result comes out, that automatically knocked APC out of the way, and that brings PDP to second position, because now they bring LP downward and make PDP second position. That position is actually not even true. Why? If the real result of LP is given to LP, that will automatically bring LP to first and bring PDP to second, and the APC, who is currently and temporarily holding the certificate of return now, which he will definitely return back to us anytime soon, then we'll be topping the bottom part. So that will be from top to bottom. I hope you understand that. Now, the electoral report that was declared, I have a link here just because I didn't have the other screen here. I will bypass that shortly. But the electoral report which they gave, I mean, the numbers allocated to LP from what is recently coming out are so like this. The difference is so huge that you can immediately see the fraudulent that is behind it. Now, before Obi went to tribunal, first of all, needless to stress the fact that the whole process was a fraud. And the opposition party immediately rejected the result and headed for tribunal. So now, before Obi went to tribunal, so he did make a very nice, lovely, outstanding statement. He said that is Obidati preparedness to heed the tribunal to reclaim their mandate. He said, I will challenge this rascality for the future of the country. Obi said at a press conference on March the 2nd, this is not the end, but the beginning of the journey for the birth of a new Nigeria. This is exactly what Obi meant by why he is going to cut. Now, like everybody will always say, if you look at TikTok sometime and you see all those guys making skate, they said, don't toy with Mr. Obi because they are going to cut with a whole lot of evidence. Everything we have been saying says are part of the evidence which Obi and his law team are going to approach the court with. So they are going to definitely storm the court with this very list of lawyers. But they have almost 60 lawyers. 60 lawyers are coming together to bring their brain together to fight this very case. So that means so many lawyers are also very much not happy about the election malpractices and the mutilation of results and falsifying of figures and all that, which is not good because, and there are many reasons why this actually elected president is not really fit to rule Nigeria right now. But we'll come to that after this slideshow so that we begin to see all the stands which the Labour Party has and all the opportunity we have to be able to win this very case in the tribunal or in the court of appeal, wherever the court may eventually land, okay? So these are all these ones, these are just the few of the lawyers. Many of them are San, Esquire, San, so that these are not just solicitors, these are serious senior advocate of Nigeria. So now, general summary about this whole thing before we go into the main thing, exactly what is going to happen, or rather what is happening right now regarding the tribunal and how far they have gone. So it's my pleasure to really be updating you about that. Nigerians are too advanced and intelligent to be an object of ridicule outside Nigeria. So that is one of the major reasons why this very present president will not be respected outside for plenty of reasons. Number one, his personal character, will come to that shortly. How he is being seen outside Nigeria, and how especially the America sees him, how the UK sees him, how he will not be able to properly represent us, not because of his health, but his character that has not really played a very good one when it comes to anybody holding such a very important office. Politicians are using ethnic division to their own purpose and gain. So, well, that would be another topic I will come up with, because I am now interested in this very topic to speak about the Yorubas, the Igbo, the Hausas, and how unified we are supposed to be. How there is no difference between Yoruba and Igbo man and Hausa, except that the politician always make us to remember. During Christmas time, I don't see Hausa man fighting with Christians. During football, I don't see Yoruba fighting with Igbo. During Easter period and every other period, nobody fights each other. But how come only during time of election, a Yoruba man will remember he's a Yoruba man, Igbo man will remember he's an Igbo man, then Hausa man will remember I am an Hausa man. But after that election period, the people you remember your tribe for, that you voted for, outrightly forgot you, even before you remember that you actually be forgotten. So based on that, I would still like to talk about that topic by His grace of God. Within this my holiday period, so I will be coming out more often to say about that. Now, this is my fear. I fear military interference in the political system. I'm afraid, because if these court proceedings did not go well, or the judges did not do the right thing, or they still want to go ahead and forcefully inaugurate the current winner as they suppose, it is not going to go well, because that will bring a whole lot of protest to the street on daily basis. And that will not go too well, because when you say protest, there is no peaceful protest, to be honest. Peaceful protest, you may start it peacefully, it usually don't end up peacefully. Something must go wrong. Why? To protest in the first place, you are angry, you want to show your grievance, and you want to say no, it is a dispute situation that you are. So it's not like you are protesting just to show off your goodness and happiness. No, nobody does that. You are protesting, exacerbating your own dissatisfaction with the system. So based on that, anything can go on the street, anything can go wrong as well. So there is no protest that will be very easy. But I fear, if the thing doesn't, if it goes very wrong and very myopic way, like this as it has been going on, I fear the military may want to come and interfere. And if that happens, that will not be good for us. But if that happens, we cannot blame them, since the civilians are not ready to embrace democracy. Then they will introduce dictatorship again. And dictatorship, Nigeria will not be respected outside. Democracy is not there. And even if they install this democracy, will still not be respected, because the government is not legitimate. It's not a legitimate government, and it is not a duly elected government. It is a fraudulent government. So you will find opposition of every government that may want to work with us. We find that as a very big point to fight their own opposition. So whether they hate us, they don't hate us, but it's a very good point to take along. Yeah, in argument in any parliament. For instance, in the UK, if Labour Party of the UK might want to side with Nigeria for any specific business or any trade deal, then the Conservative Party may come and begin to use that as a point that the government of UK is trying to do a business with a criminal government, a government that is not credible, a government that was not duly elected. This is how they come with their argument. So when that argument set up, bam, like this, that project that should have come to Nigeria, that would benefit the citizens of Nigeria, that would have given us food on our table, will be denied. Why? Because of just one individual's character that we end up elected to be there. Yeah, that is how it works, because he ends up being our representative. So who he is actually who we are going to be described as. Why? I don't think you want to be described as somebody who is being governed by a drug lord at some point. Because the money associated with him, you must be a drug lord to have such an amount of money when you were a drug dealer. Not like 20,000 you have or 30,000. You're talking about millions. Yeah. You must be a good lord for you to have been able to achieve that very one, because it is going to be a very sad situation when that time comes. My next video is to make my commentary on the issue with the Yorubas and the Igbos, like I said just now. I will do that certainly, but let us see now and just normally discuss. Let us not normally discuss the tribunal and the lawsuit and how things are going on right now. Now, there is no way politicians will not use the normal human being to perpetrate evil for their own personal gain. During this election, many people died. Many people lost their property. Many people got injury that will maim them for life. Many injury that they cannot go out of. Many people sustained those injuries, right? But the people that sent them, the people that gave them little amount of money to sustain themselves for a while, to go and do such a very despicable thing. Many are still arrested right now, okay? Those people, they have their children who are schooling in abroad. They are schooling in the UK, America, Australia, in the choice and the best university. Those children are schooling there, but the less privileged ones are given peanuts to disturb electoral process just to benefit that man that will eventually use that proceed to benefit the life of his own children who he has kept in his safe haven. Now, these people who are called the area boys, many of them are in prison right now. I was hearing one story this evening. MC Oluomo invited those area boys that he used during the time of snatching ballot box and causing mayhem. So those boys were very happy, thinking MC Oluomo want to maybe compensate them, only for him to round them up and call police on them and say, these are the boys, the area boys that were making problem and disturb. What a sellout. These are the boys you pay to perpetrate that evil, and now you turn around making this boy to pay heavily for it. You are indeed a sellout. So many of such things are going to happen. Those that are still wallowing in prison, in police custody, some are in DSS custody, some are in EFCC custody, some are in military custody. So some are even in civil defense custody. So all of them will unanimously be collated together and handed over to the proper authority to prosecute and deal with them. Why? Because they have perpetrated evil, but somebody sponsored them. I believe those guys are going to eventually confess who sent them and who empowered them to do what they eventually end up doing. But everything they did is condemnable. They are very bad people. Now, Obi is going to court. The petition has been filed. So when Obi filed petition, the petition costs 4,500 or something like that, naira, yeah, to file petition in the court, in the tribunal. It is filed already. So what is going to happen now? What do you think is going to be the defense of the APC? Do you think APC have any ground or any strong or solid argument? Do you think APC is able to argue those video clips, those video footage, those videos that have been shown on many presentations on the internet and on all the platforms of social medias regarding the mutilated result, the cancellation of result, tipexing of result, falsification of numbers, submission of a certain form they call EC30 or something like that, which does not have any signature of any polling officer except the person that just. In fact, the job they did to actually rig this election is so childish, so unprofessional. The investigators are not finding it difficult to find all the flaws and all the mago and wayo they did. They are so easy to just spot like this. Why? Because yeah, it is just out there. Like, is this the best you can do by falsifying a result? You are not even doing it good. You are not even cleaning it very well, and you are changing 3 to 8. You are doing it so badly, and you know they will write it in figure and they will write it in words. So after changing figure, they may succeed in changing figure without no much, though you can still see that it is thicker right now than just normal, but you cannot change the words of it. That was the problem, that everything is just visible. You can easily see that, oh my God. But these are all the things called evidence which are being taken to court. And many people, and not only that, they also said that the APC presidential candidate was in the first place not even qualified at all to contest the election for several reasons. And one of such reasons is he has a drug indictment in the United States of America. Number one. Then number two, his vice president was still a senator as of the time, a senatorial candidate as of the time when he was nominated and accepted the nomination to be the running mate of Jagaban. And it was thereafter, a few days after that, he actually gave up the senatorial role, and which is against the law. That's supposed to have been done before and not after. And that's a very heavy argument according to law. The law cannot be bent. It has to be strictly followed. Whether 1 day or 2 days, 1 hour, 2 hours, late is late. So it has to be done before and not after that. But they are very guilty of that. And of course, all the electoral materials, the flaws and everything. And the biggest of the biggest argument that the court have earlier interpreted in 2008 is the issue of 25% in 25% of vote popularity in 24 states of the 36 and Federal Capital Territory. APC did not win Federal Capital Territory. He did not even get 25% of Federal Capital Territory. And PDP did not win Federal Capital Territory and did not own 25% in Federal Capital Territory. That automatically knocked both parties off the list of presidential elect. And therefore, the only person that meet up with that very prerequisite is Peter Obi and the Labour Party. Why? They got 24, they got 25 in all the states, and they also have Federal Capital Territory. So why will he not be declared as the winner? Because he perfectly met it up nicely with no argument. So the only argument they went by is by falsifying figure, increasing the figure, thinking the figure might be able to help them. But unfortunately, not all the states they were able to manipulate the figure, especially Lagos and in Abuja was just too big for them, unlike what they did in Port Harcourt, River State. So ladies and gentlemen, till today, what is going on right now is the case is in the tribunal. It has not really been announced. Of course, I have not heard yet when the first hearing is going to sit. I will be able to gather up the information and constantly update you and tell you, hey, this is how far we have come. But ultimately, we are all expecting and anticipating that very day we will all rejoice and crown Obi as our president-elect. Why? He is the one that is duly elected. Because the evidence we have put together, it will be very clear to every man and every woman that overwhelmingly Labour Party won even much more than the state that he is currently being given as the state we actually won. We won many other states. Yes, especially in the west part and the southern part. we actually conquered a whole lot from those states. Even in Kano State, we made a very big impact, despite the fact that the NNPP dominated that area, which is very traditional, but we made a very huge impact. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the update so far. And if there is anything else, I will come to show you. So, tomorrow, I will come again. We'd have something else to talk about. A thing like this. No, don't forget, we still have one outstanding story of a Sunday that we didn't tell. I will still find a way and quickly squeeze it in within a week. Though I will be very busy, I'm still on holiday, but busy, yeah. So we'll be able to do that, yeah. If you have any question, drop it on the comment section as usual, yeah. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you very much. So far, that is the update. We are in Tribunal. We hope to win the case and we hope to install our president. May the Lord be with you all. May the Lord strengthen you. Have a good sleep. Have a good night walk. If you're at work watching me, God bless you. Thank you. And happy Ramadan to those who are doing Ramadan, and it is well with you all. Thank you. Cheers.